What's happening, everyone? Steve here, Cars with Steve, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about Sync3 inside of the 2021 Ford EcoSport. Very straightforward process, literally only going to take a few minutes to walk through everything that you need to know about this screen. I'm going to be showing you how to go through Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and all that fun stuff. Let's dive into it, have a little bit of fun, and figure out what the Sync3 system is all about. Now this is the Sync3 media screen. It's an 8-inch screen. It's going to be available in some trim levels. So in the SES and the titanium, this is going to come standard. It is available optionally inside of the SE trim level of the vehicle. Now one thing to note, we do have factory navigation there, but we do have the option of using either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto to use Waze, Google Maps, and Apple Maps through this middle screen. Now this is the way that the screen itself is going to look as a default. We've got our map summary there. We can turn our audio on or off if we'd like to, and we've also got the option of adding in a phone. We'll get to that phone in just a second. Now starting off along the very bottom there, so with our audio tab, we've got a few options. So we can jump between AM, FM, Sirius XM, and Bluetooth. We can do a browse. We can also do a direct tune. So if we want to tune to a different station, we can go that way. We've got a tuning rocker, but best yet is using the voice command button on the steering wheel. So a ton of different options there. I love this song. Let's do a quick audio test. Dave Grohl, killer, love it. All right, so audio is incredible. Now this is the titanium trim level of the vehicle, so we've got a Bang & Olufsen sound system. The lower trim levels will not have quite the same sound as this one does, but still nice at the end of the day. Now if we've tuned to a station, we want to save it as a preset. All we're going to do is tune. We're just going to press and hold any of the available options, and preset is now saved. Adding a phone to the vehicle is a very straightforward process. So I'll walk you through going through an iPhone and an Android device here. We're going to start off on the iPhone side of things. So all we're going to do is toggle our phone. So we're just going to add phone.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
And then on our phone, we're just going to make sure that Bluetooth is turned on, and we're just waiting for EcoSport to show up at the very bottom there. Perfect. So Ford EcoSport. So we're just going to press the button there.
Confirm that the pin displayed on Sync matches the pin displayed on your device.
Okay, so we want to make sure that the numbers match up, and in this case they do, so we're going to hit pair and yes. Okay.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Perfect. So allow contacts and favorites to sync. Yes, we want to do that. We hit allow. Now a couple of things here. So 911 assist, we want to make sure that we turn that one on. And the reason why is because if we're ever in an accident and our phone is connected, it's automatically going to dial 911 for us. And then auto download our contacts as well. So whenever a new contact is added, we want to make sure that the car downloads that as well. So as you can see, we've got my recent calls, contacts, my phone, and a number of other things. So if we go back to the home screen now, perfect. So as you can see, we've got my phone down there. So very, very simple in order to be able to do that. Now we can press the voice command prompt on the steering wheel in order to make phone calls as well, which is great. Now we do have the option of setting up Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So setting up Apple CarPlay is pretty straightforward. We're just going to take the USB cable and we're going to plug it into any of the available USB ports. The struggle's real. Perfect. Step number 2, we're going to take that USB cable, we're just going to plug it into our phone, and we're going to give this a second. So Apple CarPlay lets you use your phone in a way. We do have to continue in order for that to work, and we do have to agree to the privacy terms and conditions. And we're just going to wait, so we just need to finish setting up CarPlay, so I just need to unlock my phone. Boom, unlock, and 3, 2, 1, we are connected. Now, we do have to select this as well, so allow CarPlay with Sync3 while the phone is locked. We want to make sure that we do that. As you can see, we've got my phone, we've got my maps, we've got my messages, podcasts, we've got Google Maps, Waze, and things like that. So we've got a ton of different options there, which I think is great. Because yes, we do have factory navigation, but we also do have the option of jumping into CarPlay and using any of these different map sources instead. So if you have a preference of using Waze rather than the default system, you've got that option, which is kind of neat. Now, one of the nice things about CarPlay is that we do have the option of changing the screen around a little bit. So if we go into our settings, we click on CarPlay, we find our vehicle, we can go to customize the tray, and I don't know, maybe you love listening to your podcasts, we can move that to the top, and if you prefer to use Google Maps as well, we move that up. So as you can see there, we can really adjust what's going on. If you're never going to use Google Maps, we can delete it, moves it to the very bottom as well. Now, if for whatever reason you're playing around with the layout, you don't like what you've done with the thing, all you do is press the reset button, reset layout, and that's going to bring us back to our factory default screen instead. Just go inside, and as you can see, we are now fully set back up to our default setting again. Now, if we need to get back to the home screen, we're just going to press the forward button there, and that brings us back to the home screen. If we want to make sure that we're charging the phone up without being connected to CarPlay, we just go to our settings, we navigate to Apple CarPlay, and then we can remove my phone, and then we're going to disconnect and then as you can see, it is now fully disconnected. We disable CarPlay now, and all of a sudden we're now using factory navigation instead while my phone is still connected and charging. And we can also just pull it off in order to be able to completely remove this thing. And moving back, the phone is now fully disconnected from CarPlay, but we are still connected there. So we hit connect, and 3, 2, 1, and we are fully connected back again. So very straightforward from that perspective. Now, if we ever want to remove a phone, all we're going to do is go to settings. We're going to go to other screen. There we go. We're going to go to our phone, and we've got the option of viewing devices. We can look at my phone there, and we can either disconnect it or we can completely remove it. Setting up an Android device is literally the exact same process. So all we're going to do on our phone, just jump into our Bluetooth settings. And same thing, all we're going to do is hit add Bluetooth device.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
Perfect. So Ford EcoSport is shown up, and we're just going to click in order to connect.
Confirm that the pin displayed on Sync matches the pin displayed on your device.
All right, and we want to make sure that the numbers match up, which they do. So we're going to hit OK and yes.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Perfect. So we've connected. We want to allow access to messages, yes. And we can set it as a favorite if we want to. Now, unless you've got more than one phone set up, this is not going to show up. So I've already set the iPhone up, which is why this is showing. And same thing, auto download contacts. Yes, we want to do that. So we jump into our phone. All of a sudden, we've got the same thing. We've got the Galaxy connected. We've got our phone voice service, and we've got a number of other things. So we jump into our settings for a second, jump into phone, view devices. As you can see, we do have both of those phones connected, and we can easily toggle between one or the other. Now, setting up Android Auto is literally the exact same process. So all we're going to do is take our USB cable, we're going to plug it into any of the available USB ports. Step 1. Step number 2, we're just going to take the opposite end of that cable, and we're just going to plug it into the phone. Boom. And 3, 2, 1, vehicle data. Boom. Okay, there we go, Android Auto. So we're going to continue on there. It's okay to the diagnostics, and we're going to hit next on our phone. We're going to agree to the terms and conditions, and 3, 2, 1, and we are connected. Look at this. We are fully connected. It literally is that simple. So as you can see there, we've got our basic settings. We jump back into our home screen there. We've got podcast, phone, we've got my weather, messages, and a number of other things. So it really is that simple to be able to set up Android Auto. Now, very similar to the Apple side of things, if we go to search for Android Auto on our phone, we're going to have some more advanced settings. So we go to Android Auto. So you can see there we've got the connected vehicle. We can customize the launcher, so if we have a preference for what's showing up where, we've got that option. We're just going to press, and we can drag and drop as necessary. And we're going to move back. We've got our Google detection, we've got our Google Assistant, we can show weather, and a number of other things. So one thing to note is that with the customizable launcher, it's not going to work the same as the Apple side. So we can move it as necessary, but we actually have to restart Android Auto in order for the changes to actually reset. So that's one thing to note, but very straightforward. We've got our Google Assistant there. We can see our notification center, and we can also press the forward button in order to bring us back to the home screen again. Now, very similar to the Apple side, if we go into CarPlay, we can toggle off Android Auto if we want to, and we can remove the phone. So my phone is still charging up, and we just unplug from there if we want to fully disconnect, but we're still connected over Bluetooth. Now, in order to be able to disconnect the phone, very straightforward. We just jump into our phone, view devices, we can select, we can disconnect it. If you've got more than one connected, you can make it the favorite, or you can simply remove it. So as you can see there, 3, 2, 1, and I am now fully disconnected. Jumping back in, I can also remove it from there. So I can fully remove, and I'm now removed, and same thing, let's remove the iPhone, and both phones are now fully disconnected from the vehicle. Next up, jumping into navigation. So we do have factory navigation, so we've got that flexibility. We can easily search for an address if we'd like to, or we can also, so if we start typing in, we can search for GPS coordinates. So we would just enter in the coordinates if we wanted to go that route. We can start typing in an address, and it's predictive, so it's going to finish up our text, so we just select. And as you can see there, we can navigate, so we can save it as a favorite, or, so I've actually saved it as a favorite, it'll take a second to save.
Traffic laws, be alert, and use voice commands while driving.
Perfect.
Please proceed to the highlighted route, and then the route guidance will start.
All right, so as you can see there, so we're in favorite. So if we actually click on the favorite there, as you can see, we're inside. We just hit our edit button at the very top there now. We can change the name. So that's a really cool thing, because if we wanted to, we can select something unique. And that's beneficial because if we press the voice command prompt on our steering wheel, we've got the option of saying navigate home, navigate to work, navigate to such and such person's house. So we've got a lot of flexibility when it comes down to it there. Now we've saved an address, so moving back, as you can see there, so we're currently navigating to one. We can easily cancel out the route if we wanted to, simply by pressing the X along the top there. The route's now canceled. Jumping into our menu there, we've got our screen traffic, we've got a lot of advanced navigation settings. So basic map preferences, we've got the option of showing things like our 3D model, breadcrumbs, point of interest icons. The breadcrumbs, I want you to think of Goldilocks. No, not Goldilocks. Which one am I thinking? Hansel and Gretel. That's what I'm thinking of. So Hansel and Gretel, because if we've got the breadcrumbs turned on, as we start to drive around different routes, it's actually going to drop little breadcrumbs letting us know where we've traveled to. So that's a pretty neat setting. We've got our route preferences. So do we want to show the fastest, shortest, or the most eco-friendly route? Do we want to avoid things like freeways, toll roads, tunnels, things like that? And that's going to dynamically update our map based on our preferences. Ooh, last one, navigation preferences, our prompts. When we've got an upcoming turn, do we want it to be the voice and tone, voice, or just the tone? So tons of options when it comes down to it. Close, out, back, and let's cancel that out. Perfect. We've got a few other options, so we can see previous destinations that we've gone to. We can look at our favorites, point of interest, and then we can also navigate to our home or our work address as well. Moving down, we've got our basic app screen. So if our phone was connected, certain apps will work through this middle screen. We've got to select it through this way instead. But we do have a few options there. Now, if our phone was connected, you had something like LiveX Live or Pandora, so the radio apps, you'd be able to use those directly through this middle screen. Moving into our settings, we've got some basics for sound, so we can change the treble, mid-range bass, balance, fade, and a few other things. We've got our clock, so we can change minutes, hours, AM, PM, 12, 24-hour mode, etc. Bluetooth, we can look at our connections. We can disable Bluetooth if we wanted to. We can jump into add a phone. Looking at the radio, so we've got a few different options there. The preset pages, I always recommend going to the max, so your 6 preset pages. And the reason why I'll show you in just a second as it updates. 3, 2, 1, and we are updated. We go back to the audio section there, and all of a sudden we've got 30 individual presets now. So really useful if you're a heavy audiophile. You know, I love listening to a lot of different stations. Now, one thing, if we jump into Sirius XM for a second, and we jump back into our settings again, we've now got a Sirius XM button instead. So we've got a few different options there with same preset pages. We've got a number of different things. So if we have a preference, we want to parental lock things out, set different categories, we want to lock different channels out, etc. We've got the flexibility to be able to do that. Switching back into our AM, FM, etc. It's just going to jump us back to radio again. Moving into our navigation, we've already looked at those preferences earlier. We've got some basic for mobile apps. We've got our general settings. We've got our language, so English, Spanish, or French, Celsius, Fahrenheit, kilometers or miles, the beeping there. If that beeping drives you nuts, you can turn it off if you really want to. We can reset, so if you're selling the vehicle, you can bring it back to our factory defaults again. Moving over, we've got our 911 assist, Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi and the automatic updates, I do recommend turning both of those on. And the reason why is because if the vehicle senses that there's an available update, it's automatically going to update it for us. So really beneficial to make sure you're always running the latest software inside of the vehicle. Ford Pass Connect, so the vehicle itself is equipped with an onboard modem, so you've got the flexibility there of setting that one up very easily. So if we click on Ford Pass Connect, we can set it up as a hotspot as well. So we can connect up to 10 devices to the vehicle, but we do need a data-only plan through our cell phone provider. Apple CarPlay, we can remove my phone there because it was connected earlier. Once we remove all available devices, it's going to completely disappear, but when we go to plug things back in again, those options will show up again. We've got some basics for the vehicle as well. So moving in, we've got our camera settings and our serial number. Our display, so as big and as bright as this display is, if you don't like it, you can turn it off completely, press it to bring it back to life, or you can do a calming screen, which is going to be just the date and time instead. And then same thing, press in order to bring that one back to life. And jumping back inside, so for our display, we can change out a few different things. So we've got our different modes, so our auto, daytime, etc. So this is the daytime mode right now. We do have the option of permanently locking in the daytime, permanently locking in the nighttime. That one's going to be a matter of personal preference. Now, I personally love the look of that nighttime mode, so I would always keep it in the nighttime one, but it is a matter of preference. You can go one way or the other, or you can just set it to auto, and the vehicle is going to flip you between the daytime or the nighttime mode, just depending on how bright it is outside. And then moving back from there, we've got our voice control. So voice control, we've gone in advanced mode. I want you to listen to something for a second.
Please say a command.
94.9.
Tuning to FM 94.9.
All right, so it's changed the radio station for us, but it told us that it was going to do that. When we've got the advanced mode on, we just won't get as many notifications. Phone confirmation, do you want to call such and such person, yes or no? And then our voice command list. So this is the actual command list when we press the voice command prompt on the steering wheel. Do you want that to show up, yes or no? We've got the valet mode, which means that we can lock the vehicle out. So lock the screen out, I should say. You enter in a 4-digit number. So if you're valet parking, just to lock the screen out, you have to re-enter that 4-digit number in order to unlock things. And then we've got our ambient light with a few different color choices. So if you've got a preference between different colors, you've got that option there as well. And it's going to show up at different parts of the vehicle. Moving back out, and that is going to be the basics of the Sync3 screen. It's kind of neat, right? I love it simple, just a plug-and-play solution for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's nice that we can either use factory navigation or rely on our phone's navigation as well, because I personally love using Google Maps, but it's a matter of preference. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you ran into any problems, have any questions, drop down in the comment section below and let me know. And until I see you next time, make sure you stay safe.